Dropped one. Gotcha, bitch. It's Relentless. Yet another Division Build video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you happen to be new to the channel, ground and pound that like and subscribe button, and don't forget to turn on post notifications so that way you know each and every time a new video goes live. And also to show my gratitude for all the love and support. In just 9 more subs, I'll be giving away a set of Control Freaks. And then again at 1900 subs, I'll be doing a giveaway for a Pro Scuff PS4 controller. And then for the big shebang at 2000k or 2000 subs, I'll be giving away a PS4 Pro bundle. And that's just my way of thanking you all for all the clicks, the likes, the subscribes, the comments. So if you're not a sub and you're watching this video and you want to get it on the drawing, you're enjoying the content, then by all means come join the RG fam. And if you have any suggestions on as far as future gameplays on things you want to see, then by all means either send me a private message or just comment on whatever video, your ups, your downs, what you like, what you dislike, so because I'm only doing this for you guys. So whatever I can do to make the videos better, then that's what I want to do. But before we hop into the actual specifics of this build, there's a lot of people that have the misconceptions on what to necessarily run when you're running the 5-piece. I've seen some with specialized backpack, and let me just say, if you ever click on a video for PvP now, and somebody is telling you the best option is 5-piece Deadeye and a specialized pack, just click off the video, they're trash, move on to another one, because that is the dumbest thing that I have ever heard. Because for what little bit you get in skill power is not going to make that much a difference when it comes to your pulse. A few percentage points versus a flat 8% damage when compared to a reckless chest piece, it's a no-brainer. The only other viable option out there for Deadeye, and it's situational as well, would be the Tenacious Mask. Because when you pop a medkit, you get an increase of 10% damage by popping a medkit. But once you're out of medkits, then you're stuck and you're not going to have really no benefits other than that. So it's just 2% more. So the best option is what you see before you, is the 5-piece Deadeye and the Reckless chest piece. Now none of these pieces are optimized at all, except for the fact of just getting percentage points on crit damages and whatnot, or the actual weapon percent damage modification on the gloves, just to raise that up. That is the only thing that really has been optimized at all. As you can see, the armor's not too bad because you're going to be hitting from in cover from long distances. So as far as when it comes to health and armor, no need to worry about it. It's all about the pure damage, the hand of God reach from the 5-piece Deadeye and Reckless. The only thing that I would change on this Reckless chest, instead of the health on a kill, I would prefer enemy armor damage. And in the miner's ammo capacity, in the mod slots, we have 265 firearms and a little over 3k health in both. Now moving on to the mask, we have a good firearms roll. Everything is rolled to almost, if not the perfect 1401. Some are just a few points off. But this has 988 armor. I believe it's 1399 in firearms. In the major attributes, once again, we have enemy armor damage, because in my opinion, that is the best for this particular slot, versus whether it be skill power or crit chance. Because in crit chance, you just don't necessarily need, unless you want to stack it like for your SMG when somebody does rush you, but I think there's more valuable options. So that is why I chose to have the enemy armor damage, because even though it's a small percentage, it does make a little bit of a difference. Not just hunting rogues, fighting rogues, being rogue yourself, but just for NPCs that get in your way, no matter what the situation may be, the enemy armor damage works out great. And as you can see in the minor attributes, 14% disorient resistance. in the mod slot, we have 264 firearms and health. Now moving on to the knee pads. 8% crit hit damage. Like I said, you want to stack crit hit damage anywhere and everywhere as possible. It has firearms on it. Great roll on it. In the minors, we have 15% damage to elites, disorder resistance, and increased kill XP. Which is, if I could change, I guess that I would have probably bleed resistance, just in case a Pred Mark out there is trying to take pop shots at me from far away. Just to kind of help out with, with the whole bleed, or like I was in skirmish and constantly getting spammed by grenades, just so I can't two tap them any longer. That's about it. But in the mod slots, we have 264 firearms and 2% pulse crit hit damage. Now moving on to the backpack, we have crit hit damage as always in the major attributes. Great firearms roll, and then in the minors we have burn resistance, and in the mod slot we have 264 firearms and health with 2 more 2% pulse crit hit damage. Now moving on to the gloves. I have better gloves out there as far as armor values on them. As you can see here, I have crit hit damage, marksman rifle damage, and the 5% health on a kill, which is, it does coincide with the Barrett, not the Barrett, but the reckless chest beat I have on now, because it has health on a kill on it, so that'd be a total of 9%. And then also I have these gloves down here, basically the same. It has 1400 firearms, but the percentage wise on the crit hit damage is low, and I'm not allowed to dip tech as far as to bump that percentage up. I just acquired these from the global event cache, low armor, but it has 8% enemy armor damage, which is higher, and then that 1% increase in the crit damage from 16 to 17, and I'm only 4 points lower than the 1400 that's on the other one. But that's what I would have, and that's what I prefer on the gloves, is enemy armor damage is also stacked everywhere as possible. Then of course, as always, with Deadeye, since you're utilizing the marksman rifle, it's geared to be used a marksman rifle, so therefore you want marksman rifle damage and crit damage. Now moving on to the holster, stamina value, electronics value doesn't necessarily matter. I'm more or less focused on the roll, potential, and firearms of each and every piece. In this case, 1400 firearms. The major attributes, in my opinion, the best in slot for the holster would be the reload speed, so that way if you happen to miss a lot of shots, like sometimes I do as well, so that way if you have to reload, then your reload is even faster. And in the mod slots, we have 2% pulse crit hit damage. So basically, you want everything, to recap, you want everything rolled to firearms. Then you want to stack firearms mods everywhere and anywhere as possible. If you don't necessarily care to the extent as far as being just a piece of paper, then instead of the firearms and health, then you can have firearms and skill power. That would give you roughly, say, 3, 6, 9, 12, about 15k in skill power. So that would be, a percentage, about 2 or 3% more on a pulse. I think it's just 2%. So if you chose to do that way, but at least I'm not that squishy to where if you sneeze on me, I'd fall over. As you can see in the PvP videos that I posted, that I give a fighting chance and actually give a few dirt naps when they're solo and they try to rush me because they underestimate you, because they think you're Deadeye, and then you're not going to do damage up close, and then you whip out your secondary, in my case the house, hitting for 25k. Yeah, it puts a little hurting on people. But anyways, let's go to the character sheet and I'll show you the stats. As you can see, crit chance doesn't matter. Crit hit damage wise, 174% crit hit damage and 190% headshot damage. And then the range, like I said earlier, is 214 feet. But you'll notice in that PvP video that if you watch, and the reason why I got it slowed down is when I 2-tapped the manhunt that was way down the street, it'll show that the first hit him for a little over 230 feet, and the second one killed him or downed him at around 240 feet. So there was a little bit of damage drop off, but not that much. I still hit him both times for almost 200k, so no worries there. Reload speed 2.8 seconds because I got the 25% reload speed. All weapon damage bonuses 8%, and then of course you get 12 from the marksman rifle on the gloves. Damage to elites at 15%. The health on a kill is only 4. The enemy armor damage is 15.5%, but like I said, that reckless chest piece, take off the health on a kill on that, apply enemy armor damage, and then you have 20% enemy armor damage as well if you decide to PvE with this build, which is there's not really too much that I would change. On the PvE side, I probably would, instead of the firearms and health mods, I'd probably have stamina and health. So that way you still hit hard, but yet, you know, because NPCs hit a little bit harder, so that way you're not as squishy. But if you're running with a healer, no matter what the, you know, I guess incursion or whatnot, of course, it worked out good on Falcon's Lost from just, you know, pegging people from distance and just pretty much just 2-tapping and then just 3-tapping all the heavies that coming out. So it was pretty badass. Let's go over the skills now. You could probably asking, why am I running the recon pack pulse? Just for the simple fact it has increased range, so that way, you know, for those targets that are outside of range, you get 20 more meters range out of the recon pack than you do any others. But if you're trying to be sneaky and try to get those manhunts as they're trying to clear it, and you say you got it camped out, you're in a good perch, your sniper nest, so to speak, then you would want to go with the conceal, so that way even if they're pulsing to see if other agents are nearby, you can conceal yourself and be the silent assassin. And also the cooldown on it is only 38 seconds compared to 51 seconds on these others. And then as the secondary skill, you want booster shot, so that way you're not relying on the health of the booster shot, more or less. You're relying on the damage boost that it actually gives you. Now let's move on to the talents. I usually run these talents on basically everything because I'm just used to it, unless I'm using a skill build. And then I have triage on, but usually it's adrenaline. Medkit now gives you 7 seconds of immunity from status effects. Combat medic, strike back, and then tactical advance. It's situational, but if you can get the timing down and get used to it and can actually pull it off, then a complete cover-to-cover move will increase your weapon damage by 2% per meter covered for 5 seconds, up to a maximum of 30%. Once you play with it a lot and get used to it, 5 seconds may not seem much, but yet if you're good at your aim is small and true, and you aim small and miss small, then you can aim down sights pretty quickly, and within that 5 seconds you can hit a pretty nasty shot on somebody and almost one-tap them. But anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Appreciate y'all the love and support. If you enjoy this build and want to try it out, let me know what you think. If there's anything you would like to change about it, leave those comments in the section below, but just don't tell me what you would change. Tell me exactly why you would change it, and I'd like to have, you know, a discussion about it. So far, this is the best way that I have found for my playstyle, and more or less the best way overall. I have seen a lot of Deadeye peeps, you know, specialized backpack, this and that, savage gloves, and I don't know, it's just crap mainly. This build has been tried and tested. I have extensive research and practice and just going out, just testing it. Thanks, shout out to El Chupacabra, because he let me shoot him from, you know, miles away while he was doing a pose on a Humvee. So basically, he let me kill him over and over and over. But so far, you know, this is the most you can get out of it. But like I said, I will be switching over to this custom M44 because it does have prepared and deadly. You want deadly definitely on whatever marksman rifle you're using, and prepared for that way when I do say pop booster or my pulse, then I can get an additional 10% weapons damage bonus for 15 seconds from competent, so that way I'll hit just even harder. I don't like the Model 700 or the M700 just because the simple fact of increased damage by 10% when elevated. It's situational. Like I said, I don't want to have to be elevated from my prey just to get that damage bonus. Whether it be eye level, ground level, in heaven, or whatever the case may be, I don't want to have to put myself in and put restrictions on myself where I have to be elevated in order to hit somebody hard for increased damage. So that way the custom N44, in my opinion, is a lot better than the Model 700. But, you know, you might like the Model 700 better. Let me guys know what you think. I think I've dragged out much longer. Don't forget to check out the links in the description below for all the PvP 2-tapping. We'll see you guys fudging later.